Welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking WWE, and we're talking the new Daniel Bryan. Now before we get into things, I want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you stay up to date with all my content. But now, yes, I shouldn't say that. Daniel Bryan will tell me off. I'm thoroughly enjoying the new Daniel Bryan gimmick, and the introduction of the eco-friendly WWE Championship was a masterstroke by WWE. And the reason why I've made this video today is because I was watching this and I've seen Daniel Bryan's gimmick unfold, and it started to remind me of a gimmick we've seen in the past, and it really did start doing that at the Royal Rumble. Now, when Daniel Bryan recruited Erick Rowan, I just started to get a feeling that is this becoming like a new age straight edge society? And you see in the ring at the moment in WWE 2K19, we've got the new Daniel Bryan going one-on-one with CM Punk, the leader of the SES. So I put this match together because I thought to myself, there seems to be some similarities. Now, did WWE look at the straight edge society, and are you feeling those similarities too? Or am I just the only one that thinks this? Because Punk was a bit of a preacher, a bit of a brainwasher, and he wanted people to follow his ideology. And it feels like Daniel Bryan is much like that. And I didn't actually think the Daniel Bryan gimmick was actually going to, bring others in. And so when Erick Rowan was recruited during the Royal Rumble, which I think is a fantastic move for Erick Rowan, by the way. I think he's been underutilized for many years, and every single time they took him back into the Wyatt family, didn't quite seem to succeed. Then when they did the Bludgeon Brothers, it was unfortunate that injuries came up. So I'm really hoping now that with Daniel Bryan, a WWE champion and very much a top player in WWE, this can help Erick Rowan get his career back on track, because I think he's a decent big guy and he's a decent heavy for Daniel Bryan, someone who can back him up when trouble arises. And I think that's what's kind of happening to Daniel Bryan at the moment. He's being quite outspoken, but then he's beginning to hide behind the muscle that is Erick Rowan. And I'm just wondering, much like the straight edge society, will Daniel Bryan start recruiting more talent into this group that he's building, or is this just going to be him and Rowan? Because we saw how the SES went out and recruited others. It seemed to prey on the vulnerable, and Daniel Bryan seems like he's going to be a bit like that. And it does also remind me a little bit of the rights to censor this gimmick, because he's saying all these things are wrong, eating unhealthy food, do you recycle? He's really, begrudged the WWE universe and the fans. And one thing I'd like to do with Daniel Bryan's gimmick is, at the moment, I think he's still got the Daniel Bryan theme. Now, if Bryan hates all that sort of, social marketing and, gimmick as such, I think they should strip his entrance bare, just like he's done with the championship. He didn't want to use all the materials for the WWE championship, so he made his own. And I think that they should do that with his entrance. So they should strip out any sort of Titantrons that he's got, take away the music, and I think it should be the bare bones, which would represent this gimmick perfectly. I didn't like it when Dolph Ziggler had that annoying record scratch and then he didn't have anything at all, but this is different. This fits the theme for Daniel Bryan. But I'm honestly hoping, and that's why I put this match together to make the comparison, that Daniel Bryan and this gimmick continue to build. I've always thought Daniel Bryan is a fantastic heel. He's great on the mic. We know he's fantastic in the ring. And I think he could be used to elevate other talent that is being misused in the WWE. And that was a bit like what CM Punk did with guys like Luke Gallows at the time. I mean, Gallows was, well, he was like, I think it was Festus, was it? Yeah. The less we say about that, the better. But that sort of gimmick, you know, afterwards when Punk took him into the Straight Edge Society, really helped him move forward, and then he went on to bigger and better things, and now he's back in the WWE as part of the club. But, you know, with Daniel Bryan, he could do the same kind of things for an Erick Rowan and others if he goes out there and recruits more. So could we be building this sort of stable for Daniel Bryan who will protect him and continue this new age movement that's gonna keep the championship out of the clutches of, you know, like a superstar like AJ Styles, or even out of the clutches of the McMahons and Triple H? I'd actually like to see a renewed rivalry, but the reverse, that Daniel Bryan is the heel, and he's trying to keep the championship away from the Authority. But the other way this time. So unlike when Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 finally fulfilled his dream, this time round he's actually trying to obstruct, you know, the justice from the Authority that are looking at it from, you know, not having a eco-friendly style championship. Yes, it's thought well of because it's eco-friendly, which makes this a very good thing to argue about, because you'd say that Daniel Bryan's actually in the right, that he wants people to think this way, but you know, it's not always the best or the common way of thinking for most people. So yes, recycling and everything is good, but the way he goes about his business to put that across isn't the right way to handle it. And Randy Orton this week on SmackDown said, well, you know, I don't recycle. I wasn't sure why he went and said that, to be honest. I'm sure he'll get a bit of a backlash on that, but yeah, the way that Daniel Bryan's putting across how he feels about things is not the right way to do it. He's almost, you know, preaching, brainwashing, and forcing his opinions or his views on the WWE Universe and the SmackDown Live locker room. So I'm interested to see if he's going to take more of that approach and continue to, you know, recruit. Because I think Punk did a great job. Actually, it's probably one of my favourite times for CM Punk in the WWE, him being a part of the Straight Edge Society. I actually loved that version of CM Punk. So if we're going to get things close to that, then it's going to be a very cool experience. And the SmackDown booking is taking that sort of change. As you see, a Hurricane Rana from Punk. I thought it was quite cool actually to make this match, and it actually did come out very well. Going back to what I was saying about the way that Punk was portrayed at this point in time, I thoroughly enjoyed. I actually do like these egomaniac style gimmicks, and when they get a championship, then they've got a bargaining chip with anybody in the WWE, because you know, Authority might want to get the belt off of him. People don't like him because he's so outspoken, and I think that's all great for a heel. So I'm glad they did this with Daniel Bryan, because when he came back before, it felt like they had not much for him. Now it's looking like they're really utilising him, and maybe that's because of the threat of new companies on the horizon with AEW, as Bryan lines up Punk, forearm to the face. And I'm just going to, you know, provide a little bit of commentary every time something interesting comes up. But yeah, I want to get your views and opinions on this in the comments section below. What do you think about Daniel Bryan's gimmick? Are you a fan of his new Eco-Style Championship? And are you seeing those similarities that I see with the Straight Edge Society? And if you could build a faction or a stable with Daniel Bryan as part of this, I don't know if you, what do we call this? Do we call this the new movement? Do we call this the fickle movement or the fickle era? I don't know, because Daniel Bryan's not fickle. He's calling the universe fickle. So what are we calling this at the moment? Let me know in the comment section below. But who would you get, or who would you bring into his stable to help him secure up and protect the Eco WWE Championship, as Punk humiliates Daniel Bryan, slapped him on the back of the head, and I'm sure the former yes and no man will be saying no right now as Punk heads up elbow right into the heart. Flashback to the Macho Man. Ooh yeah, dig it. And now the Anaconda Vice. And what is Daniel Bryan going to do? Bryan being asked plenty of questions. Can he recycle CM Punk tonight in the closing stages of this match? Oh, kicks to the chest. And whether or not Punk is straight edge, Bryan, oh, kicks his teeth down his throat. And Daniel Bryan has had enough of the straight edge society. Here comes Bryan. Oh, love this move, by the way. This looks fantastic. Boom. So let me know in the comment section below. And I really just made this video to talk about the Daniel Bryan gimmick because I am very fond of it. I'm enjoying it, loving seeing it progress. Where do you think it's going to go? And who do you think would be a good feud for Bryan outside of AJ Styles? Get involved. Let me know what you think as Daniel Bryan makes CM Punk tap out to the label lock. So all that's left to be said is get involved in the comment section below. What do you think about Daniel Bryan, or should I say the new Daniel Bryan? And do you think that his new movement has any resemblance to the straight edge society? Get involved and please rate, comment and subscribe. This is Delzinski signing out.